I got a record player. Oh,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Frank Presents the Play Call. We here out here today, Bree and my son Frankie together out here. So they got their
yo,
little chat. I was talking to Bree about this earlier. I said they should do their own podcast. She was like, "Nah, we'll get canceled." Then I thought about it. I was like, "Oh no, yeah, she's still in the Navy, so she can't do it." But anyways, happy
And Frankie knows, Frankie.
yeah,
Remember how,
yeah,
remember how we said if our group chat ever got leaked, like
bro.
we'd be done.
For those who don't know, our group chat is called Niggas in Sports. You feel me? So if you of palm color, I wouldn't suggest saying it. But however, it's a really fun time though. We always having a fun time just talking about sports all throughout the year and everything. But if we did start a podcast, we might get canceled. We have to keep it real
You
clean.
might get cease and desist from athletes, the way we talk about people in that chat.
Yeah, like the play call is real clean. That would be real raw.
You know what? We should make the Bree Network like a niggas and sports podcast, you know?
Word, like a raw spinoff type joint.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's conversation, organic stuff. You can't really,
Can't get mad at it for real.
yeah, and you can't duplicate it. Listening, watching all these other different podcasts is like they're real organic. Yeah, they have topics and they have probably a format they follow, but it's real organic. You know,
I told you he was asleep.
yeah, yeah. You called
Mhm.
it. You should have bet. Should have put the odds in. You know what I'm saying?
LOL.
Yeah, so June should be joining us any second now.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday,
We
guys.
have just a few quick topics, some photos and everything. And you guys are ready for the first topic?
Of course.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, the first topic that we can talk about is that, hold on, I just had it up. It literally was the first. Here it is. That Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson will forfeit $750,000 workout bonus in his contract for missing Baltimore's OTAs.
So when you told me that, and I said let's save it for the podcast, is because I want to say something that maybe our listeners or maybe I don't agree with. But yo, you don't got no Super Bowl rings. You been to one AFC Championship game.
Oh, I think two. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
Was it one
like
or two?
I think it's one. I
He's
think
only done one.
yeah,
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Josh Adams been like two. So you ain't he
Shit,
been
like
to
three
one
or
to three.
four.
One, he went to one last, it was the year before
Oh
last.
no. Yeah,
Then
the Ravens, they went to one, but Josh Allen's, yeah, she's saying though, like Lamar's only been to one, but Josh Allen been to like two, three of them
That's
joints
what I'm
already.
saying. Allen been to at least two or three. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so.
So
Even him, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you ain't got rings. Patty Mahomes wants to miss out OTAs. Listen,
that nigga got three of them.
he got three. He been to five. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
what I'm saying.
he could sit here and do that. Lamar, you only got two MVPs, and those are individual awards. And your team can't get past a certain part of the playoff. Maybe you need to be at OTAs getting your practice on, getting your feel on. And listen, $750,000, and I get it. He got money. The $750,000
It's
is
still a
seven
lot of
hundred
money.
fifty thousand dollars. You know what I mean? When he
Hmm.
didn't have that money, when he didn't have the millions, he would have did whatever it took to get that 750,000. He would have been an OTA smiling. You know what I'm saying? These guys need to get back. They need to be humble and get back to the basics. Go to OTAs. Go to these practices. Unless you Patrick Mahomes or Brady when he was still playing. Look, no, you ain't got multiple rings. You don't have one. So how about you show up and get some practice on? That's my thing.
Exactly.
You know.
yeah, I
Um,
agree. Go ahead, Frankie.
I was gonna say no, I agree too. I'm gonna make this quick because really ain't much to say about it, but the fact that yeah, bro, like you just don't have enough under your belt to be missing OTAs, especially with the way how Baltimore did end their season in the playoffs. It just didn't look like they were on the same page. I'm not sure if they were the one seed. I think it was the Chiefs again this year. I'm not too sure. Um, but it's the fact that the way how you guys did and you guys didn't look like y'all was on the same page. Y'all kept making like, very little mistakes, but also tedious mistakes at the same time. And I want to say it was the divisional that they lost. And so, that's the reason why I didn't make it to the AFC Championship again this year, and that's the reason why I couldn't have a chance at the Super Bowl this year because you weren't like granted the divisional, yeah, you're two steps away, but you're one step away if you're at the AFC Championship, and you at least have a much more real chance of it coming alive. So I think, yeah, he needs to be there. You know, that everybody needs to be there, especially after the way how their season ended.
So go ahead, Bree. Before I ask the question, I'm gonna ask y'all a question.
No, I agree 100% with what both of you guys say. I'm on the same page as both of you guys. Like how Frank started off, you don't have a Super Bowl ring. Like, and you're missing out on all this money, you know? And to me, that's very selfish, you know? Very,
Hmm.
very, very selfish. Very selfish, you know? You have guys taking pay cuts and guys not getting paid as much, putting in all the extra work
Yep.
to get to the end goal, which is a Super Bowl ring. And that shows that you want the like is money, you know? Like, oh, I want the money, I want the money, I want the money, you know? And to me, it's like it's it's a new era of football and stuff. Like we've never really seen this much money being taken away from a player for stuff like this. Um, or we've never seen people sit out because of contract negotiations. But
Right.
once you sign a contract and you know what's in that contract, you need to show up.
Yep.
No ifs, ands, buts about it. You know you need to be at OTAs. You need to be there. You don't? Okay. Yeah, we can't kick, we're gonna take $750 million from you. You know? You did it last year. That's a total of $1.5 million out of your pockets, you know?
Hmm.
Yep. Like, you know, what I was gonna say was this: people, Mahomes and the Chiefs, and I've always said this, they just been so far ahead of every other team. They don't lose coaching staff, which I think is the biggest thing. They don't lose any of their coaches except Bieniemy, but we've seen the offense still work because of Andy Reid. So, that didn't stop the show from running. Spagnola's there, so the defense stays consistently in the top 10. And they, but the question I have, are they the best team in the AFC? Is Mahomes the best quarterback? Take away the Super Bowls. Take away the Super Bowls. We're going off pure talent and ability. Is he the best quarterback? And I'm gonna say AFC, not the whole NFL, but just AFC. I'm going with Bree first, Frank. Let Bree go.
Lamar?
Okay,
No,
but
no, I'm saying, and because the Chiefs are the status quo, right? That's who everybody's trying to beat. And the AFC, that's the monster that stops everybody. They get to AFC Championship is Chiefs, nobody's winning. It's the Chiefs except the Bengals, but that was one time. Take away the Super Bowl rings because that's a team collective, right? That's a team collective. Do you think that Mahomes is the best quarterback in the AFC?
No.
Okay.
no. Wait. Oh, best quarterback in the AFC?
I say AFC, I'm not even doing NFC. AFC. And you said no. The reason I'm asking this question is because I think Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, talent wise, are better than
Yeah.
I think Burrow is a better thrower than him. Like I think Burrow's better than him. But Mahomes wins. So that's why everybody puts him at the top, right? It's the wins gets him at the top.
Yep.
You said no. So who if you had to pick three quarterbacks or your quarterbacks that you think are better than Mahomes in a pure talent base, not wins and losses, not Super Bowl rings, wins and losses. I mean,
Just
talent,
pure
talent.
talent as a quarterback. Like
Yep.
it's just if it was him and another quarterback doing like quarterback drill style, going back and forth, who was
Mm-hmm.
better?
Mm-hmm.
My top three?
Yeah, however you want to give, however you want to slice it.
Okay. AFC. I gotta remember. Hold on, let me look at my thing. Okay. Um, Joe Burrow,
Okay.
quarterback style, Joe Burrow in the AFC. Um, this is what I'm gonna do instead. I'm gonna go off of like their traits that are better than Patrick Mahomes. Like this person has a better trait than Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh, I say IQ would be Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
IQ would be Aaron Rodgers. Quickness and with the feet would be Lamar Jackson. Style will be Joe Burrow. And can escape the pocket the best, Justin Herbert.
Okay. So Frankie, your go.
I think if I had to just name a few quarterbacks that I think would be better than him,
Oh, and throw would be Josh Allen. Sorry.
I think it would be I would say Burrow one, well not one as in like, top one, but more so just the first person I name. I'd say Lamar Jackson, and then I'd say right now, like talent wise, possibly Josh Allen, like pound for pound, yeah. But it's so crazy because I remember when Josh Allen came into the league, he was more so looked at as like a boom or bust project quarterback, and it's crazy because he just turned out to exceed expectations than what people had initially set for him. So, but yeah, like I'd say it's really those three quarterbacks in the AFC, and arguably those three quarterbacks are plus Mahomes as well could potentially make up the top five anyway quarterbacks in the league. So, and all of them reside in the AFC. So, but yeah, if I had to talk about just like, tangibles and things like that, um, yeah, it would be those three because there's nobody really that close to Mahomes in the first place, anyways, to even say they're they're better than him. I think the only three quarterbacks that actually gave him some competition within his years of being in the NFL thus far are the only ones that you could say really are better than him. And then, well, I was gonna say Jalen Hurts, but then Jalen Hurts is in the MC, so that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. See, so I asked the question. Here's why. Because what stops them is the team aspect, right? What stops them is the intangibles. When you look at when you look at the games that they've lost,
What's
it,
up, June?
what's up, June? It's come down to the quarterback making the mistake, the defense giving up the play,
Yep.
but it's just the team effort all around. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to go back to the essence. You're not at OTAs. You're not at OTAs. Did Josh Allen go to OTAs? Is Joe Burrow at OTAs? Hell, Aaron Rodgers just signed.
Aaron Rodgers is there.
Is there
And he's a
throwing the ball, right?
yo.
Herbert, I'm pretty sure is at OTAs. I'm
Yes,
pretty
he
sure.
is. I saw the pictures of him and
Yep.
coach and his coach.
So that's what I'm saying. So all and I believe the quarterbacks I mentioned are better than Mahomes. Take away Super Bowl rings, take away wins and losses. Pure
Yeah.
talent wise, they're better, and they're there. Why aren't you there? The same.
Yeah.
So really quick, I'm gonna name off two stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them is a quarterback in the AFC. The other one is Josh Allen. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Bet.
you're gonna tell me which numbers is Josh Allen and which number is quarterback A. All right. Then at the end, I'm gonna reveal who quarterback A is. Okay.
Okay.
Copy.
Since we're on this topic of quarterbacks in the
So it's
AFC.
like guess by the stats essentially.
Yeah. So
Got you.
passing yards. One of them had 3,897 passing yards. The other one had 3,731. Which one is Josh Allen? The 3,800 or the, well,
37. 37.
3,731 is Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Quarterback A had 3,900 or 897. All right, completion percentage. One of them has 63%. The other one is 63.6%.
63% and 63.6.
Which one is Josh Allen?
63%.
Yeah.
3.6 is Josh Allen.
0.6.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
Passing touchdowns. They both had 28 passing touchdowns total last season. One of them had 6, the other one had 11. How many did Josh Allen have?
6 what interceptions or 11? He had
Interception.
11.
He
Oh,
had 6.
11.
Yeah,
He had
6.
Oh,
6. Yeah, he
Okay.
had 6. All right, and in bad throw percentage, remember the lower the number, the better. One of them had 17.3%. One of them had 18.7%.
I
Which one did
think
Josh Allen have?
I think Josh was 17 because this is like based on last year's stats.
18.
Mahomes had the worst.
Josh Allen had 18.7%. So Josh
Ah,
Allen had 3,731 passing yards, a completion percentage of 63.6, 28 passing touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 18.7% bad throw percentage.
this was last year?
Yeah, last season.
This is what won him the MVP award?
Yeah. Now, quarterback A had 3,897 passing yards,
There's no way. I
63%
would have thought he had better
28
stats.
touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and 17.3% bad throw percentage. Who was quarterback A? Everyone
Aaron
gets
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is
Yeah.
correct.
The only reason
Aaron
Bro, I would have.
Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen had more touchdown passes and a better bad throw percentage than Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
yeah, the reason I know his stats is because they talked about it on when we talk about your team signing him. So June, the because you came
You
in
know
at
he's backing me up like I'm still under center.
yeah, I got you. You probably gonna do better than him. Listen, um so June, the question because Bree brought up the fact that Lamar again this year lost out $750,000 for not showing up to OTAs. So I said, listen, you don't have Super Bowls. You've been to one AFC championship. I think you should be showing up, right? Because clearly something's missing. And forget just giving up $750,000 like it's nothing. Because when you was
Oh,
broke, you
1.5
were
million. If you add last year's
yeah.
OTA segments and this year's, this
So
says it.
1.5 total in 12 months. Let's just say 1.5 total. So when you was broke and you wanted it, you would have did whatever it took to get it. But let's go back to wins and losses. So I said let's put a pause on that. Mahomes, take away the Super Bowls, take away the wins and losses, because that's what we go off of, right? When we say he's the best. On a pure talent level, do you think that Mahomes is the best quarterback? I mean, you're just talking AFC in the AFC. Take away the Super Bowls, take away the wins and losses. We're talking about pure talent. And if so, if you think so, cool. If not, who do you put above? In AFC only.
I think so.
No, who would you take
No,
away?
no, no. He said if I think so. He said if I didn't think
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
who
If
would I
he
put
thinks
above?
so. So you think he's take away the Super Bowl wins,
Mhm.
wins and losses. You think that Mahomes is the best quarterback on a talent based level than everybody else?
Active playing right now, yes.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, why?
I can tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why, please.
Because they could be losing the game and they can manufacture a play that Joe Burrow can't do. They can manufacture a play that that you can't count on Lamar Jackson to accurately make. And they can manufacture a play that Josh Allen, which is he could or he couldn't. And just because of the adjustment that he can make based on those weird plays that we usually see him do, I would have to give it to him on a skill level over those other quarterbacks. Because like I said, if I would have to choose a quarterback, I would have chose Lamar, but it's a 50-50 with him. He can't make those accurate plays or he can't do those weird plays that I think that that what's his name? That Mahomes consistently. I mean, them stupid little plays, them stupid little passes, them sideways. He could be looking at
Off the left hand.
he could
But
be looking at section 312 and throw it through section 112. And I don't think there's a quarterback out there that could adjust like he can.
all right, Bree, go.
No, what I was gonna say is, but if you notice, like the things that he can do, we've seen other quarterbacks do. We've seen Peyton Manning do the no look passes like before. Like we've
Hell,
seen
Matthew Stafford, that was his bread and butter.
at Stafford, yeah, another one that was his bread and butter. Like we've seen a lot of the stuff that they've done. But my answer was like what I did was I broke it down into like different categories of a quarterback that I think other AFC quarterbacks are better than Patrick Mahomes. And like for example, I was like the ability to think quick on the feet would be like a Lamar Jackson, a pocket passer, Justin Herbert, just overall would be a Joe Burrow, and IQ wise would be a Aaron Rodgers, like when I broke it down and like the things that other AFC quarterbacks might be better at, I'm not looking at it as a team. I'm looking at it as a if I have Patrick Mahomes standing right here and I have Aaron Rodgers standing right here and they both have a fucking football in their hand, or if I have Patrick Mahomes standing right here and I have Justin Herbert and just them two and they both have a football in their hand, who will be better at what?
Mm.
But I get what you're saying. And you had a good
No,
remark.
and I also think it's by design, right? It's by design. Those plays that now that goes back to coaching, right? Now we talking about, see, but I said take all that away. See, that's when you, though, the reason that those plays that he does work is because of how the coaching has been set up on the offense, that you have to prepare for all that kind of stuff, right? If you think about it, when at his best and his receivers are there and he's stroking, bro, you worrying so much about Rice being downfield or this person being downfield and Pacheco out the backfield that you forget about Kelsey just standing there. And sometimes it's so quick that he just does a little flick pass up the middle.
Right.
Kelsey grabs it and gets real low and is in for a touchdown. So it's like by design, those plays work. But like I agree with Bree, we seen, look, Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, just to name two that are still playing, been doing the sideways pass, the sidearm pass. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that scheme wise. And when you bring up the playbook, they just have it set up. That's why I said you missed it. I said they've been so far ahead of every other team for so long, but I think teams are now starting to catch up. However, those quarterbacks in those teams, like you said, have to be in the right mindset. Like they got to be all in to, because, like you said, it could be one play and he takes over the game and that's it. It's a wrap. And I think that's the difference between him and I would say the Allen and Lamar. And the reason I didn't put Burrow in there because we seen Burrow be down 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs and still come back and win. So it's not like he can do it. He can overcome it if the team is working right. But we haven't seen Allen and Lamar overcome it when it matters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I guess I thought more about it in the sense of if the game was down, if you weren't down like 42-0, I'm not saying that, but
Nah, yeah.
if you were down in the game where you were down 17 points in the fourth quarter, like out of all those quarterbacks in the AFC, who will consistently win you, 17 games,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And I think I would have more 17 fourth quarter comebacks from Mahomes than any other quarterback there.
That's fair. I'll give you that. All right, Bree, take it away.
Okay, the next topic that we have, we're just gonna call this segment the Pink Panther.
LOL. LOL.
So a certain NFL player was caught on a yacht with a bag
Tripping.
of pink substance.
He's
Um
definitely tripping on the yacht.
and instead of being at OTA. And we have two fans of that team on this podcast. So I want to know your thoughts and your takes on it. Also, Rabel did speak about it. Um, and what are your thoughts of what Rabel said, and what are your thoughts on the whole situation of your wide receiver?
I think Vrabel handled it the right way. You know, I like Vrabel. I think Vrabel. It's not. I didn't have anything against Gerard Mayo, but obviously Vrabel has more head coaching experience than him. And if I had to pick a player and coach currently that can probably mimic what Belichick did, it would be Vrabel. And Vrabel's very intelligent. He has a very smart IQ of football. He's very, very smart when it comes down to the sport, and even I think in life. So I think he handled it right. I think he did the right thing. Josh McDaniels did the right thing too, handled it right. As far as Diggs goes, this is why you're on your fourth team in your career. This is why, like, I get it. Cardi B's your girl. You're on a boat chilling, but you're you're a multi-million-dollar wide receiver. You're considered one of the best wide receivers we have in the game right now, at least top 10, right? Top 10, and actively playing. And you're out here on a boat, and we don't know what the substance was. It could have been what we think it is. It could have been candy. We don't know, right? We don't know. But because we don't, and they didn't test them, they didn't check it. Now, like what I saw somebody say was, if they really wanted him that bad, hey, tomorrow report here. Not
Yep.
3 days later, tomorrow report for a drug test. Now, one of the wide receivers, I forgot who it was, he's like, he's being stupid on one of these talk shows. He was like, because he could get put into the drug program.
Mm.
You don't want to be part of the drug program, right? So, if that's me personally, I would have cut him. I would have cut him. Like, here you go. I think you got to set the standard somewhere, and you don't want to let certain things slide by because if you do, now is that the standard? You know what I'm saying? So either NFL investigates, which I don't think they are. Then if the NFL is not going to investigate, I would probably fine them and just be like, hey, you know what? You represent this organization. And even though we're not winning right now, even though we're not the organization we was just 5 years ago, at the end of the day, we still one of the top organizations in the NFL. And if you're gonna put that uniform on and represent us, then you got to cut that shit out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about it. Frankie?
Um, I think Nah, yeah, I told Bree in the group chat, I was like, "Yo, bro's not serious." I was like, "If this was," because I forgot. I think Jalen said something about like how Goodell's not serious or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, for sure he's not." I was like, "Yo, if this was even like 10 years ago, bro, Goodell's giving him 4 game suspension at the start of the season off rip at the very least, and freaking Belichick is going to be like at least 2 of them is mandated team suspensions." You can't come to the practice, nothing, none of that, bro. Like that's
Uh-huh.
exactly what would have happened like at least 10 years ago.
No,
Now with
Jalen said if this was the NBA and it was silver, he would have
oh
been,
yeah,
he said he would have been in the XFL catching passes yesterday.
word. Like, yo, it's crazy because the transparency that Bree and Jalen were providing is also true because of the fact that, bro, even 10 years ago, bro, like even 10 years ago, Goodell was handing out suspensions for
Like it's
for
candy.
exactly, you feel me? Like everybody gets suspension, 2 game, 4 game, 6 game. You ain't want to be or sometimes 8, or sometimes season ban. Like, yo, it was crazy, yo. But now, my take on it is that I'm glad that I trust Mike Vrabel, like my dad said, to handle it how any other coach would that has long tenure in the NFL, especially for a player that has been with a coach that was once a player for the Patriots throughout their tenure when we were winning championships, and we did go on our three championship dynasty run in the early 2000s. And at that time, and even going into when we won 2014, and going on our next, run of wins of championships a decade later, Bill was still on that with Chandler Jones and even just something as little as weed. So, you know, coming from somebody of Vrabel's leadership, I think that he handled it right. I think the Patriots probably should have fined him, and or even the NFL should have just fined him, just for the fact that that's not the example that you want to set, not only as a player, as a star player, but also now a franchise player. That's why I think the two perspectives of just both entities at least giving him suspension of the sort, or not suspension, but rather even something as little as a fine of the sort would, it would make a difference. Because like, yeah, bro, you on the boat, you pulling out, pink coke, they calling in, everything like that, and then now people who don't even know what pink coke is, they suspecting that you doing pink dyed cocaine. Like, bro, it's a bad look, bro. It's not good, you feel me? In no way put it, you feel me? It's not good in no way put it, but right now it's just nah, bro, especially with media looking at with Lamar Jackson missing OTAs and stuff like that, bro. Like you got to set the best example you could be as an NFL player in the offseason right now, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you can't have fun, but you gotta through and through set that you're an NFL wide receiver, and I'm that. Like, you feel me, a star one at that, bro. Bless you, Bree. Until you retire though, like, yeah, you can't be acting like that.
And what's your take on the whole Pink
Pink
Panther
Panther.
debacle? That's what they're calling him, the Pink Panther.
Yo, but it's so
Like,
funny
all
though.
over Twitter, they're calling him the Pink Panther.
Like, yo, it's so funny, yo.
I mean, at the end of the day, man, I hate to use that at the end of the day. At the end of the day, and piggyback are like the most annoying
Word.
things that people can
Yeah.
say, right?
Hmm.
And people still say it, and I just said it, so I kind of fall into that annoyance. But it all falls into that professionalism aspect of things. At the end of the day, you have to be a professional, whatever it is that you do, and you still have
Mhm.
to hold that example in
Yep.
whatever avenue you choose to take. So whoever is above you now has to hold you accountable, because whether you're the Pink Panther or the Black Panther or whatever it is you decide to be called and take or give, um, you still hold the statue and you're still representing something that's a lot bigger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Definitely that.
All right, last topic that we have is we have two quick more topics. The first one I posted it in me and Frankie's group chat, but I saw it on Twitter, and the I think it's a good talking discussion. But the tweet, the caption said, "Who is stopping Trevor Lawrence from winning a Super Bowl?"
Patrick Mahomes.
Yo, when she said that in the group chat, I dead ass
So
said
wait. So
everyone.
okay, here's my thing, right? Let's be fair,
No,
right?
like honestly, like
Yeah, yeah. Let's be fair. He hasn't had
who said it? He's stopping himself.
besides
Yeah,
that. Yeah, but I mean,
Coach,
that
look at the
too.
coaching. Look at the coaching. You know, they had the debacle of the who was it, Mayor Myers, whatever his name is. Got fired. Then they bring in Doug Peterson, who we all thought was going to do something with him. It doesn't really go. They actually go to the playoffs. They win a game. They beat the Chargers, right?
Come back
Um,
27-0.
and then he gets hurt. Then it's like subpar, subpar, subpar. They get rid of Doug Peterson. Now they bring somebody else in. I think to a certain extent, we got to put it on the coaching. You know, um, something Bill Belichick said: players win games, coaches lose them. So when you sit there and you're looking at the fact that this is a young man who has so many high aspirations coming out, they had him at a pedestal, like they had him up there, and he hasn't lived up to the hype that where now they're saying, hey, if he doesn't do nothing this year, you might want to draft a quarterback into next year. So I think the coaching is it, and I also feel like you got to put some on him too, because the moment has been he's had the chance to be successful. He's had the chance. They've gotten him talent. They've got him wide receivers. They went and got him Ingram. Ingram had to turn his whole career around in Jacksonville from the Giants, and he had running backs, a good defense. It was running the South. You know what I'm saying? So I think to him, I think you got to put a lot of it on him, but also you got to give some to the coaches. So to answer your question, I think that if I had to say what's stopping him, it's himself. One, the coaching, lack of consistency at coaching and development, and then three, the fact that at the end of the day in the AFC, Kansas City Chiefs run that shit.
yeah, I agree 100%. Of course, I made a joke on Twitter. I made a joke on Twitter. I comment under it and I said the terrible towel curse, you
Yes.
know?
LOL. Word.
But no, I agree. June,
On what part?
what's stopping Trevor Lawrence from winning the Super Bowl?
Trevor Lawrence.
LOL.
Um, it's like Trevor Lawrence, comma, LOL, comma, I'm serious though, period. Um,
That was a text message he said out
uh,
loud.
Yo.
I would take it back to the playoffs where they had to be. Damn, was it the Raiders,
Peace.
the Chiefs when they were like on one on first and goal on the four. Um, I'm not gonna say you had a Super Bowl team, but you had a playoff team, and you have four opportunities to sit there. And yes, the coach said this, but you're the quarterback back there, and the coach can't see what you see. So why couldn't you adjust to make things happen? I think that was their best year to make it as far as they could have with Trevor Lawrence back there,
Mm.
and he stopped himself from getting in there. So, man, I don't know, man. I just You never know, I guess. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
know it's crazy and as ironic as it seems. I know we spoke about this last week, Frank. We said if we were to put Joe Burrow on the O line of the Eagles, Joe Burrow would be amazing, right?
Yeah. Have Super Bowl.
I'll tell you what, if you were to put Trevor Lawrence in the O line of the Eagles, they would miss the playoffs or just get out in the wild card. That's how much faith I have in him. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
Um, I think with Trevor Lawrence, I like I said, I told Bree, I said everyone, it's no, I guess no offense to him, but it's literally the fact that like I don't know, I guess expectations, all types of stuff. I didn't really keep up with him coming out of high school. Well, no, when he was in high school, but coming out, he went to Clemson. I think he won the Natty as a
That's
freshman,
when he got the
or
nickname Sunshine. Yeah, he
Yeah,
got
you feel me?
Cincinnati as a freshman. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he great prospect, but at the same time, and then like I look had the 27-0 comeback against Justin Herbert and the Chargers in the playoffs. But it was so funny the fact that June literally just said that he wouldn't have no confidence in him if he was behind the Eagles O line. But like literally, I have the same reserves as well on that too, because at the same time, bro, like I mean, it's not his fault completely. Coaching does come into play, as aforementioned, but at the same time, and he was injured too as well, but he just hasn't been anything of eye popping though when he is, like really, really clicking, like when everything's working for him. Like, he has great games, but they're a dime a dozen of, or few in between of like, consistency. So I think with him, like yeah, everybody's beating him because he's beating himself first before anybody else gets the chance to beat him. That's literally my take on Trevor Lawrence at this point.
All right.
We seen him live like twice, I think,
Yeah,
I still remember those passes were overthrown, those wide open receivers, and from then on, me seeing it live, it was like, all right, yeah, he's just in it.
It it's something, and I know we can go longer on these topics because we don't really have many topics, but it's you see. I'm trying to say, man, I'm trying to get my thought right because I had it and I lost it. Um, yeah, we seen him play, and we seen him the over. It comes almost comes down to kind of what you said earlier, June, when you talked about Patrick Mahomes, when you was like he can make certain throws that other players can't make. And those are kind of the throws that I would compare Trevor and him to. Like when it comes down to it, the chances of Patty overthrowing that ball or underthrowing it, probably you're not gonna see it. But
Yeah.
Trevor in the backfield, you be like, oh yeah, it's happening, you know?
Oh
So
yeah,
I think that even though I say coaching loses you games, I believe that you said something very important. He's in the backfield. He's seeing something that we're not seeing. And that's the difference between probably some of these quarterbacks and the Mahomes, the Brady's, the Mannings, the Brees, the Rogers, the people that sit back there and say, "Yeah, you called the run, but I'm not seeing that. I'm going with a screen or a little flick pass or whatever,
hmm
this because I can see the defense, and what they're doing. So I think that as you, even if he's not performing to what we thought he was, he's had his moments where he can at least show that he can do it, and he comes up short, and that's where the faith is gone.
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Next topic is Terry McLaurin has made it clear to the team that he's frustrated with the lack of progress in a long-term deal. McLaurin unexpectedly left volunteering workouts OTAs after initially attending and remains to be seen whether he'll report to mandatory minicamp. He's entering his final year of his contract and the talks has been minimal, and he left mandatory OTAs this week.
Right there, that says it all about that contract, baby.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what it speaks out. That's what it says.
I agree to a certain extent, but I also feel like a player like him who
Deserves it.
has handled it the right way up until now that we can criticize him now has been successful under multiple quarterbacks.
Different subpar at that
Yeah,
too.
and different coaching. Like, let's be real. That dude last year was one of the reasons why they went as far as they went. Besides that other receiver that didn't drop anything. Like you could throw the ball into the moon and comes back burning hot. He's gonna catch and score a touchdown. So it's like this guy, I don't agree with leaving, but a person like him that you really don't hear nothing about, for it to get out, it has to be a sign of frustration, right? So at that point, is it can we blame him for walking out, or can we blame the organization for not saying, listen, this guy played well
Having his bag.
with our rookie quarterback. He's going on his sophomore year. We have a chance of being, let's say, the second best team in the NFC East. And the fact that nobody in the NFC East has won the division back to back in over 20 years, that means historically is saying that it's open. Anybody can win the division. So why wouldn't you want to arm this guy your quarterback with one of his best receivers or the best receiver on the team with Terry McLaurin. So I agree, June, he should never left. But I think at the same time, we got to look at it not as fans or people, look at it also as how would you feel if that was you? And you've been handling it good. You haven't been on X. You haven't been on Instagram. You're showing up to OTAs. You're there. You're not like, oh boy, fucking handing out pink cocaine on a boat. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? You're not like Lamar, not showing up, sacrificing $750,000. You're there. You're there.
Yeah.
And they can't even give you an extension. Like, I mean, I don't like it.
yeah.
Well, that's my take on it though.
All right. And then the last topic that we have, oh, well, June and Frankie, your takes real quick. Because we have one more topic and then we have games and then we gotta go.
Um, yeah, I really don't have no reserves on this topic for real because I think we spoke about it earlier as well too in the group chat. So nah, yeah, I'm good on the topic. Yeah, yeah. June?
On Scary Terry.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with what Frank said. I guess the next thing I think as like podcasters or critics, I guess some people would say, um, is how to handle those situations. You know what I mean? Because we've seen how um, Lamar handled it. We've seen how gosh, what's this guy's name from the 49ers?
Purdy?
No, no,
Purdy.
no, the receiver
Brandon Ayuk.
Oh,
Ayuk,
Brandon Ayuk, yes.
right? We've seen how Ayuk handled it. Um, who else was crazy with their stuff? Um,
There's a few people out
yeah,
there,
yeah,
you
there's
feel
a few.
me?
There's a few big names out there though that, in my opinion, handled the way that they wanted what they thought they deserved. So I guess at the end of the day, if I do fall back on how you handle it. Like when I had showed up to OTAs, given the fact that I still had that issue, I would have brought that up, and if that was going to be an issue, I wouldn't be in the spotlight. I would have just been like, "Hey, I ain't showing up, and this is why."
Yeah, not
Oh,
be frustrated where there's reporters and then they see you mad and just leave, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, because still, you should know. If I'm him, I'm gonna know. Dang, I see all the spotlight that these people were on and how it could affect the team,
Yep.
or it went back to what I said last year. You got these young players that are gonna think this is what I have to do when it comes to it, so I can get what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Like the
And
Bengal rookies that won't sign a
yep.
contract until they know that
Man,
they're starters.
right there. What are we gonna do in the NFL or as a team to say? Who are these young cats coming in here? Yes, they get NIL deal. They're probably more than their rookie contract, but hey, this is our rules. You know what I mean? A draft day when we go live. Hey, don't forget, my man. Draft their 30 with the first pick. Don't forget, these are our rules. Is period. But yeah,
Um, I say one thing, real quick, actually, because it just came to my head. Uh, as my pop said, yeah, he's been great with Jaden Daniels. He's like really, literally, like without him, uh, and that Jaden Daniels relationship that they have, like that tandem, they don't make it to the NFC championship. And it's been really good for his development. So yeah, nah, they should sign him. Otherwise, he could come play for the Patriots or the Steelers or the Eagles, whichever were, you feel me? He come play for one of these organizations that we, support. So definitely, if you don't like it over there, fine. Go someplace else where he will be appreciated because he's a great wide receiver, at least top 10. So,
All right, and last but not least, Aaron Rodgers finally signed a 1-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The 1-year deal worth up to 19.5 million with 10 million guaranteed and a 13.65 million dollar base.
hey, Ron.
So all I'm gonna say about this is I hope
Good luck.
that he
Good luck.
is a lot faster than he did with the Jets because he did better towards the end of the season than he did the beginning of the season. His numbers weren't that bad, like we read out already. He also they said it takes over a year, about a year or so for you to feel better, like a year or more for you to feel better from an injury like he had at 40 years old. So maybe hopefully you guys he comes in there They say that he's been talking to Arthur Smith and that he's been talking to Tomlin before he signed. They was working on revamping the playbook to match what he likes to do, what he's good at. We knew he was throwing with DK. He was throwing to DK before he signed. So I just
And
hope that
he's
he.
with our new running back that we drafted
Mhm.
from Iowa.
I just hope that he doesn't like the Steelers need to win a playoff game. They need. It's sad to say.
Tell her.
Yeah, it's sad to say it that way because when you think about it, we're talking about an organization with 6 Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about an organization that at one point was considered up there as one of them franchises you want to be. And it's a standard of
They
franchise,
were
right?
they were the greatest franchise for
Yeah.
like the last, you feel me,
And then
however
and
many
here you are
years.
now, and you're being criticized because it's like almost having a above 500 season is what you want. That's you're striving for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I want a Super Bowl, you know? Me as the first lady of the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, me as the female Mike Tomlin, me as the voice and the reasoning of the Pittsburgh Steelers, me as the face of the Pittsburgh Steelers, me as
Tell them,
big
Bree.
assistant. I want a Super Bowl. I don't
That's
want
real.
I want a 500 plus yard season with another Super Bowl ring. I want to be I want to tie Super Bowl rings with the amount that Tom Brady has. I want to surpass his number. I want people to say Tom Brady is no longer the GOAT. The Steelers is the GOAT.
that's fair.
That is what I need, you know? Good luck to Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be very competitive between you next week in minicamp, facing off who's going to be the starting quarterback, you know? But I got this under the bag, you know? Big Ben taught me everything I need to know.
June
That's a
Um,
fact.
yep, June, what's your thoughts on AA Ron potentially being a backup quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
You know that shit ain't happening.
What do you
He would have never signed that contract.
he has to face me.
Has to go through.
You know that ain't happening. He would never sign that contract.
You
Nah.
think he's
Uh,
scared. You think
oh,
he's scared? Me and him got to compete for the starting position. I already made my mark. When we didn't draft a quarterback in the draft, I already said, well, I'm the starting quarterback. That was a done deal before he signed.
yeah. You know, Bray, I think you're great. I think you're a great QB. Never seen you throw a pass, but I think you could probably throw it over those mountains, just like Napoleon said. You know,
Oh, I could throw. No, I could throw a football. I could definitely throw a football.
I think you should grab a football, make a video, and throw it and put it in our podcast chat.
Okay.
June.
Gangsta.
So what do you honestly? What's your take on it? What do you see? They signed them. What's your whole take on it?
On the entire A rod, on the A rod.
Mm-hmm.
I got this picture I wanted to share with you guys. I saved it.
Bree with the FSU ball.
I put it on the chat here. So
my fingers are really small. My fingers are really small. But what I learned from Big Ben is that um your fingers have to go on every alternating one.
all right, I put a picture on the chat.
Yes.
Let me know what you guys think. Um,
My hands are way too little.
So what like how it came to fruition? Is that it?
Let me see what he posted on the chat while I'm trying to.
What was it?
it looks like he's
Oh, this
whispering. It looks like he's whispering in his ear.
me.
You
This
see the
one.
guy. You see the
Frank
guy
Marshall.
back there.
LOL.
That's
was
going to
just
be you at the end of next season. So, do you want to sign this contract? Because that's going to be him at the end of
so
next.
what's
That's what I frankly think about it. I think he's just going to be who he is. I mean, if he would have had Pickens as the number 2, different conversation. I would have been like, you know what? He got Metcalf on the left. He got Pickens on the right. Frymer there. Harrison. Well, Harrison not there, right? Where
But
Harrison?
they got some running backs though. They got running backs.
Right.
what if
So So that's if Pickens would have legitimately been a number two, then I would have had a different outlook
What if we get
on the
McLaurin?
situation. Bree,
No,
McLaurin.
what if? No, because no, that's don't do that because remember last year, right before free agency, I said, what if we get Justin Fields and Russell Wilson? And y'all both laughed at me and said, y'all ain't getting two quarterbacks. Back to back, we got two quarterbacks. So my
Yeah.
what is becoming true. My what is becoming true.
No,
What
but we're talking about a number one receiver though. Like, what are the chances you guys going to get two number one receivers?
yeah, Tape Corey.
Well, they made an attempt. They are one of the teams interested, I think, on him. I think
Yes.
they've reached out to try to trade for him if they can't work a
And
long term
and we're
deal.
also looking at Arthur Smith has been talking on getting what's his name? What's his name? The tight end from Kyle Pitts
Yeah, yeah, from the Falcons
from the
too.
Falcons.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, the Steelers,
Oh,
but
I
the
know what you're
thing
talking about.
about the
Yeah,
Steelers and being on honest, June, they've always had a good wide receiver room. Always. DK, yeah, you're right. If they had Pickens still there, been dope. They got rid of what they thought was they can get rid of because they got Metcalf. Now you got to think Metcalf's always gonna get double coverage.
Monster. That little boy can run.
Yeah, you got I don't have faith in Aaron Rodgers like I used to back in the day. Not
And that's why I said with Pickens, it would have
yeah,
changed my view.
you know,
Mhm.
I believe the Steelers because of Aaron are probably the third best team in the North because of Aaron. You take Aaron away, and then you got the Browns and them fighting for the third best team in the North. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's you would have never said that 5, 6, 7 years ago. You know what I mean? And the fact that like Ryan Clark said, Tomlin might need to do what happened to Andy Reid, even though he's not going to get fired like Andy Reid was let go. But it's maybe it's time he goes somewhere else
Oh no, he's not. He will retire before he goes
and
somewhere else.
finds himself in a situation like Andy Reid. Because remember, Andy Reid went to four NFC championships with the Eagles, won one, and went to the Super Bowl
was
loss.
known as a choker.
Yeah, he won a lot of games, but Andy Reid ain't Andy Reid today if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
Facts.
I'll tell you this about Mike. Let
You know
me
what
tell
I'm
you this
saying?
about Mike. He will retire before he go coach another team. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
That's a fact too, though.
You think so? Or you
Mm.
saying that as
Yeah,
a fan?
Yeah. No, no, no,
So,
no. Like taking fan shit aside,
Yeah.
yes, I 100% will believe that he will retire before going
Steelers head coach.
somebody and go coach another team.
Why you feel that way?
He's getting older, you know. He's getting older. I feel like when it's his time to go, he's just going to be a family man, you know. He got both sons gearing up to get into the NFL, you know. Dino has one more year left at Boston College. His other son is a senior in high school, you know. His daughter does gymnastics at the University of Georgia. Don't ask me how I know all about my family. Just know that's all my family, you know. Um, I feel like as he's getting older, like he wouldn't put himself through that stress of being a coach and being so far away from family and stuff. He would retire.
Okay,
Like
that's
he's like a
okay.
big family man, right? And this is no disrespect to Bill Belichick, right? Bill Belichick, when he left to go coach, like he left to go coach college, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not a husband. He don't have children and like
No,
all
they
that.
all grown. They all at the house. He's
Yeah.
chilling.
And I
So
think didn't his former wife pass too? I think if I'm not mistaken or something like that, or did they just divorce?
I think they're just divorced, bro. I don't.
Some joint like that. So
They don't
yeah,
talk about her. They don't even mention her.
that's what I'm saying. Like Bill had no family to come back to when he finished that Patriots tenure, which low key kind of is crazy to say, but like, yeah, bro, like
I don't know. I think that yes, I agree with everything you said as far as being a family man. We know that he's a good man all around. Period. Uh,
yeah,
but
I don't think he will go coach another team.
I
I
don't
think he
know
made his
if
mark and his legacy at at Pittsburgh that it would be way too late for him to make another legacy somewhere else because
you
of he's
yo it just thundered real loud over here.
yeah, I was like, yo, you
So
heard that?
here's my thing, Bree. Here and I want to get everybody else's take on it. Well, no, you know what? We'll save it. We'll save it. We'll save it because I was
We got
gonna say this. So I guess my question is this: his legacy. But what is his legacy?
So
Right?
we'll save it for when he retires.
What is it? Because he didn't draft Big Ben.
no, he did it.
He has not been able to develop a quarterback since. Some people say that the team he won a Super Bowl with was there already with Cowher. So it was all he had to do was come in and coach it. And now you all you have is what 18 winning seasons, and you haven't won a playoff game in 8 years, right?
I
Or
would
15.
say, I would say legacy more in the sense of not not really stat wise, because as you like you say, he didn't draft Big Ben or
Yeah.
anything. He won a Super Bowl with us, at one point he was the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl. I would just say impact, like his legacy when it comes to impact, when it comes to what as a minority, as a black head coach, you already know how the NFL treats black head coaches and stuff and what they do or what that when you're out of here,
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. Just the legacy and the impact that he does for these men, how his coaching abilities, like that type of legacy. Everyone knows the Tomlinisms, him as a coach, how he's a leader of men. He doesn't say, "Oh, I'm not a, I'm not a NFL football coach. I am a leader of men." Like just him as a person, how he carries himself, how he carries his team, how he wants his players to be, how players, they say, if I was to ever leave my team, I want to go play for Mike Tomlin. To me, that's impact, that's influential,
Yeah.
I'd say
Yeah.
like his legacy when it comes to his influence in the game,
Okay.
We've heard it millions of times. All these players say that if they were to ever leave their team, the one coach they want to go play for is Coach Tomlin. No one ever speaks bad about Coach Tomlin, Even Mr. CTE Antonio Brown, one day he hates Coach Tomlin, the next day he's bawling his eyes out talking about how Coach Tomlin taught him how to be a father,
Mm-hmm.
helped him raise his son, Like it's just the legacy and the impact that he has for his players that he
He's a
leaves.
player's coach too. One of the
Yeah,
very few and first player coaches, like in that transition, more player coaches in the modern era. Because before then, it was just
he says it every year. Happy Thanksgiving. If you don't have anywhere to go, my house is always open. He has 15 to 20 football players at his house every Thanksgiving to eat a Thanksgiving meal. Easter's. If you have kids, y'all ain't got nothing y'all doing, come to my backyard. We're doing an Easter egg hunt. Like, yeah, he's a player's coach and he's a leader of men. I think like the legacy of his impact that he's had for that team and players on that team, retired and current, you know?
Yeah.
yeah.
So really quick, so I guess my question would be like to you, Bree. The longer that he keeps coaching, and let's just say he doesn't keep winning the big games, do you think
Producing.
yeah, do you think he'll be taking a shot more or so at his legacy that he's built?
Yeah, I do. And then me and him are going to turn over and I'm going to become the head
No,
coach.
no, no. It's a
Uh,
serious question because there
Oh yeah, I
I
do.
think I think I think you're right. They don't talk bad about him, but the whole hasn't he hasn't lost a season in so long
it gets
conversation.
disappointing though when you
It
don't
came
produce.
after a while, right? So after a while, he hasn't had a losing season. Great. And then a season or two later, after that comment was made or a statement was made, it became, man, can he not win a winning game? I mean, the big games anymore. Just settle as winning season. And then what is going to be the next level of criticism? And that's, I guess, that's where I'm asking. Do you think by him staying longer, if he doesn't win this year, is it best for him to go somewhere else?
No, I think
I
it's
think
best
he's
for him
still
to
young, and I think if he leaves there, he'll go to a different team where he can make some noise. Not saying that he's a bad coach, but I
No,
think
no.
he's still young
Listen,
in the game.
and
He's a great coach.
this is real. I'm not even capping when I say this, not because Bree's like my little daughter or nothing. That dude decides to leave the Steelers and says, I'm a free agent head coach.
our thing is our organization is doomed if
I'm
he's
not
gone.
even saying that. You know how many people will get fired? Let's say it's Monday at 12
But
p.m. Eastern.
that's the impact, the legacy that he holds.
He
Yeah.
goes, I'm leaving the Steelers. We've decided to part ways. I feel like I can't take the team further. I'm looking for a new home. At
Some of the head coaches
201, half the coaches is gone. They're gone. Peace out. Hey, you got to go. But you just signed my contract. You just hired me, motherfucker. I don't care. You got to go.
like
You got to
Tomlin
go.
to go today. Yeah.
You got to go. You got to go somewhere else. And it's because of the impact that he has. Like Bree said, his legacy. And I'm glad you pointed that out. Because before we go to the next topic, we get so wrapped up on the wins and losses that we don't look at what it takes to lead people to get those wins
The
and,
fact that
and
it
make
took
it through the
somebody,
losses.
took
And how to
people,
handle the
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
also how to
And
handle the process.
and I feel like Tomlin is just a good man all around, and that's what makes him great. And June, I agree with you. I see where Bree's coming from that he would just retire. I don't see that though. I think he's still got too much left in him, and that fire still burns.
I know him like I know him.
You know what I'm saying? I think he'll go somewhere else and be like, all right, one last run. Let me go here. And might pick the team that's just missing that one piece, and that's that head coach. You know what I'm
If
saying?
he were to go to another team, I
Yo,
would be impressed. But there's only like three teams that I would be okay with him going to. And that will be an
imagine if he went
LA
to the
team,
Eagles.
an LA team, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Or the Arizona Cardinals. Those are only three teams I will be content with him going to.
Yo, while when you was talking the entire time, if he like, I was thinking like if he did leave, the Cardinals would be a good spot for him. I feel like with Kyler Murray, he could do something. But um,
Well, Kylo is Will
Honestly, I think if Pete Carroll don't work out, the Raiders are a team that I think he can go down there with his with demeanor.
Ooh,
Hmm.
what if
yeah,
this? What if this? What
definitely.
if this? What if this?
He
He's
got
a
that Raider look. I don't know. He
Mhm.
got that Raider
he
look.
do.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, but ooh, what about
He do
this?
got that Raider look.
But what about this? Hold on. What about this? What if he steps down as a head coach and goes back to being a defensive coach and he
No,
goes with Sean McVay to the Rams?
no, he would never.
Nah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
clock
but
it.
He
That
would never. He would
I don't
never.
see him
he
doing it.
would,
I don't see him
but
doing it.
let me have that talk with him though. Anyways, all right, now we got some photos. Let me share my screen. All right.
Man, shout out Coach Tomlin one more time. You show me gangster.
And
Like,
everybody see my screen.
Yeah.
yeah.
Who had the most impressive 2,000-yard season? Eric Dickerson,
Ooh.
Adrian Peterson, Jamal Lewis, Barry Sanders, Derrick Henry, Terrell Davis, Chris Johnson, Saquon Barkley, or OJ Simpson?
I like this question a lot because I think about this a lot for the fact that we only have maybe we was like only nine of them, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah, but think about it. The fact that it happened nine times, bro, like 2,000 yards, that's insane. Like, so I really think about this question a lot. I'm gonna let y'all go though before.
I'm gonna say AP because then he get that after coming back from being a torn
Yeah.
MCL or whatever,
Yep.
Yeah,
ACL. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Adrian Peterson, heavy on that. You know what I'm saying?
great, great pick.
Um, and what's interesting is that nobody's had 2 seasons with 2,000 yards rushing.
Shit, they said Barry probably could have been the first one to do it.
Yep. So I would say
Jim,
AP for me. AP.
Jim?
Hands down, AP. I've
Yeah.
been a huge fan of his.
Frankie?
I'd say outside of APs because APs is obviously the most impressive. I'd say it like I'm not gonna say objectively, but or not even obvious in the way that nobody else is impressive. But at the same time, though, yo, he tore his ACL. Like it's the same way how when freaking I think KD tore his like Achilles or something like that. It was like, yo, you're not supposed to play at the level that you play, and yeah, both players I just mentioned produced great seasons. That are stamped in history forever. So AP, yeah, but if I had to choose outside of him, I'd probably say either low key berries, yeah, either berries or I appreciate the Terrell Davis season a lot too. That was a really good season. That was a really good season. Jamal Lewis's season is well underrated as well too. But I like berries though as a second pick.
Yeah.
Oh, and OJ did it in 14 games. First, I think the first person to run from 2,000 yards, and he did it in 14 games.
One
One got to
by
start.
far.
Brett Favre, Matt Ryan, Kurt Warner, or Philip Rivers.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, I'm going Favre.
Favre.
Brett
Mm,
Favre.
yeah. Think about it. I think
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Philip Rivers, the best quarterback to never win a Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go yeah, freaking June, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Favre. Favor.
I think him and Warner are the only ones with Super Bowl wins, right? In this like picture, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just one apiece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give it a five.
All right, what would you have a better chance at doing? You as the individual person. Would you have a better chance at catching a pass against Patrick Surtain, the second, or stopping Jamar Chase from making a catch?
So
Bro.
make it catch the pass against Patrick Sertan or stop. I'm talking about catch a pass against Patrick Sertan.
June, I'm stopping Jamar Chase from making a catch.
I don't know. I think I would personally stop. I would stop Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
It's gonna be with a penalty, but I'm gonna stop Jamar Chase.
That's
Who
fair.
I'm gonna just trip him.
Oh I'm pulling the Mel Blount rule where 5 yards within 5 yards of this line of scrimmage, I'm dogging you, bro. That's it. They literally he was shout out to Mel Blount, bro. Steel curtain gangster, bro. Because you know why they had to make that
Big
rule, bro. You
Bell,
could
Big
only
Belly
do it like, bro. You could only like he was that physical with receivers,
made
bro. They made a rule for him, bro. You can only get physical with niggas
Yeah,
and
I
within
think
five
it's
yards now.
because if you think about it, if you're lined up with Jamar Chase, right? And you guys both run, and then Joe Burrow throws him the ball and he's up to catch, right? All I gotta do while he's looking up to catch that ball, all I
Pushing
gotta
him.
push him, trip him,
That
something.
ass.
I'm a female. I could flash him, get him distracted.
LOL.
Something. Yeah.
LOL. Bree says she using her assets, bro. Like, you feel me? I'm not thinking outside the box like her, bro. Gangster.
All right.
Like,
Who was better, Prime Jerry Rice or Prime Randy Moss?
Man, after Pete and that argument he made when we first recorded with him, I'm
Mhm.
going Randy Moss, bro.
um, Randy Moss, yeah.
I think so
Moss.
too.
June same.
Yeah, same.
All right. What's the first player that comes to mind when you see the number 36? Do not get
Um,
this wrong.
That's the bus?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
gonna say, like, I was literally just about to look it up. I was like, wait, let me, because I was like, I was thinking running back instantly
Jerome
as soon as I
Bettis,
saw it.
the big bus Bettis.
Exactly. I was
Who's
like,
the first player that comes to mind for you, and why is it Jerome Bettis?
bro, he's the only like player I remember wearing 36 when I was
Yeah, I
growing up,
can't
and
think of
then
another
like,
player wearing 36.
yeah, like,
What about you? June probably know every Eagles that wore the number 36.
No, I was gonna take it a little bit more in depth. I was gonna say like, Tom Brady and playoff wins or something like that. I don't know. No, that's what I was thinking. I wasn't even thinking jerseys. I was just thinking more
see,
playoff wins.
that's a good thing though. You feel me? Nah, yeah, freaking yeah, the bus, yo, like especially NFL Films loves the bus, bro. Like I think they were talk like there's a few like lists of their top 10 lists that he's been on. I think one of them was like ending games or something like that, like final games. Something like that. And it was Bree, you could fact check me, but was it the AFC Championship where he had the fumble, or like which round in the playoffs where he had the fumble where Big Ben went and got it and recovered it?
No, it was the AFC Championship game.
Okay, yeah.
It was against the
So,
Colts.
Yeah.
yep. And then freaking, it's funny because like he was like, "Yeah, I owe Big Ben my career for that one." Not gonna lie, appreciate it, man. You're the reason why I'm here today with the Super Bowl ring. So appreciate it. And yeah, like the bus, man, one of the most fun players to watch on and off the field, especially. Yo, he's funny.
Mhm.
All right, what else?
Real quick, breaking news: Nick Chubb will sign with the Texans on
Mhm.
Monday.
Oh. That's a good look. That's a good
Um,
look.
Another speaking of the Texans, CJ Gardner Johnson says his goal is to win 3 Super Bowls with the Texans.
Well,
So
His
let's look
face.
at this
Look
duo.
at his face.
like
All
I,
right. So next photo. Which new quarterback wide receiver duo will have the most success? You have Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams, Jaden Daniels and Deebo Samuel, JJ McCarthy and Justin Jefferson, Dak Prescott and George Pickens, Drake May and the Pink Panther, Lamar Jackson and DeAndre Hopkins, Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf, or other.
um,
Um, I am going to go with Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams
Mm-hmm.
because Puka's there. He's not going nowhere. And I feel like Matthew Stafford is going to have a good connection with Adams. There, he's a quarterback, and because you have to account for Puka and anything else, you know what I'm saying, is not going to be. So I think they're going to have the best chance of success this year.
I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf. And the reason why I'm going to say that as a Steelers fan is because I need them to have success, because I need us to do more this year, you know?
I'd say, well, I hope for Drake May and the Pink
He's,
Panther.
he's so good. Y'all know I'm a fan of Drake. Y'all know
You feel me?
I've been a fan of Drake May before, when he was at UNC.
Like, yo, the talent that the show that he was putting on, like, last season at towards the end of the season, like he showed a lot of potential. I'm really happy this season for like to see what he could come up with next. And the fact that we just paired him with Stefon Diggs is like it it can literally only help him. It can only help his development. Some of that's how Scary Terry helped Jaden Daniels, as we talked about earlier in the other segment. So, but
That's who
outside of the Pats, though, I say the same thing as my pops: Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams, both a veteran quarterback, a veteran wide receiver, both some of the best at their position. You can't go wrong with the type of consistency as you're going to get out of them. I think they will be a set on a safe bet. They'll be probably the best inconsistent
do.
consistency wise.
I I would have to go with Devontae Adams and Matt Stafford. However, I had Lamar Jackson and DeAndre Hopkins like right underneath. I just think that they're going to utilize Hopkins a lot more than ever. I said it before. I think the Chiefs really screwed that up, and DeAndre Hopkins, he's getting older, so I think they're going to wild out on him this year.
It's
Okay,
crazy. He went
bring
to
back
really
three
didn't get
old
the ring.
logos. You have out of these nine, which three are you bringing back?
Oh, I'm going Pats, Redskins, and the Oilers.
The Houston Oilers.
Yep.
Oh, well, fuck you too, Frank. Now I'm not gonna put the Pats in there.
LOL.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Steely McBeamy. Okay. I'm gonna go with Steely McBeamy. I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with their pretty pirate. And I am going to go with, you know what? I'm not gonna be mean. I'm gonna go with the New England Patriots. Jim?
I like the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Dolphins,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the Oilers.
Okay. Frankie?
I'm gonna go Patriots, Bucks, but don't bring back the creamsicle jerseys though. Just keep, you feel me, work it around. You feel me, but not that. Um, and then I'd say either Dolphins or probably Redskins.
Mm.
Yeah, Dolphins are probably Redskins.
Which retired player besides Tom Brady would dominate? Which
Continue.
retired player besides Tom Brady? I know y'all can't see that in the text, but I can read it. Which retired player besides Tom Brady would dominate in today's game? Give me one offensive player and one defensive player. Oh, we'll do this. We're not even gonna say besides Tom Brady. Give me one offensive and one defensive retired player that would dominate in today's game that's not from your team.
Okay, that's fair.
Lawrence Taylor on defense.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say it doesn't matter on offense whether it's receiver or
Yeah, it
anything
doesn't
like that,
matter.
right? Um, I think Randy Moss would dominate in today's games too.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Um, I'm gonna say Randy Moss, right? I would say Randy Moss would definitely dominate in today's game. And then when it comes to defensive players, I would probably say either Lawrence Taylor or like Reggie White, you know?
Reggie
Yeah,
White was another one, yeah.
Reggie White and yeah, I'm gonna go because you pick Lawrence Taylor, I'm gonna say Reggie White. All right, Jim.
I start out with the defense. I would pick Palomalo, right? I'll do that in the defense, and in the offense, I would throw a massive twist, and I'll bring back Michael Vick. I think Michael Vick would kill the game.
For your team though.
Yeah.
You gotta pick
He played for Atlanta too.
oh smart.
He talking about Atlanta Vic.
Smart.
Nah, the Eagle Michael Vick, but yeah.
LOL.
But no,
But I'm
because
gonna choose the Atlanta one.
the Eagle Michael Vick was better, more accurate than
Yep,
the Falcons
So you
one.
got a different
yep.
person because he played for your team.
I'm bringing back the Atlanta Michael Vick with the Michael Vick Eagle skills.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
say Moss, but I'm gonna give two shout outs to some Eagle defenders. Of course, we said Reggie White already, but shout out Brian Dawkins, bro. Yo, imagine him being a fucking safety in today's game, bro. Like,
Mm.
you know, the beats that B Dawk would be giving down, bro. Like,
Yeah, but you see, that's dangerous because today's games, some of them hits will be flags.
hey, but yo,
You know what I'm saying?
B,
That's
yo,
the only bad thing about it that today, even with a clean shoulder, he had hit like
who
to the
was the
chest.
who was the
Oh,
tight end for the Falcons? Crawler or something like that?
Algie
Like,
Crumble.
yeah, big dude. Boom! Freaking just had him linked over, clutching his stomach, bro. And B Dog, he not even like, I don't even think he's like 6 foot, bro. It's the crazy part. It's like 5'10, 5'11. He my height. Like, gangster, bro.
All right. Out of these four, you are throwing a Hail Mary pass. You. Who's catching your Hail Mary pass? Moss, Johnson, Rice, or Owens?
Moss.
Moss.
Moss one-handed with 3 defenders on him. Moss one-handed with 3 defenders on him.
Jim?
Calvin Johnson.
He's my second pick. Like, see, Megatron could do it with 3 defenders on him, but guess what? He's gonna have to do it with 2 hands though.
I think
Moss gonna get it with one.
is Megatron. I think Megatron's like the biggest receiver there. Boss.
Yeah, he is like
Yeah.
6'6".
All right. Tell us about your favorite team's most iconic moment without telling us their name. I'm gonna say it. So this is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a speed round for all of us. We're all gonna say it for each of our teams, right?
Okay.
So for my team, it will be James Harrison, 100-yard pick six
Oh, that's
and
a good one.
43. For your two teams, without saying their name, I'm gonna say 28 and 3. And for June's team, I'm gonna say Philly, Philly.
You're supposed to just pick your own. Now we all gotta think of different stuff for our own
Oh,
team.
you could say the same thing.
Nah, cause I was gonna do either 28-3, but if my dad were to say it, I would have said Malcolm Butler, goal line. Oh my god. Like, you feel me?
Man.
Interception at the goal line by Malcolm Butler. Unreal. Or 28-3, or
A line helmet catch to get the first down and then all out blitz, leave
uh
Burris alone in the end zone.
That's
Iconic.
a infamous iconic moment. That's an infamous iconic moment. Oh,
Be mine for my
I
team.
think I think you should play for overtime call. I think you
Um,
should. That's a really good one. I
Bree, I'm
think you
gonna
should play
go
for overtime.
Santana Holmes,
Oh, San Antonio Holmes
I was
tiptoe.
thinking that one too. I was thinking that one too.
Enzo, and for June,
At 12 o'clock.
um, it's got to be the strip sack fumble that they got on Brady in Super Bowl 52 when he was about to make the comeback and take him out.
There we go.
Or it will be for June, another great iconic moment will probably be, and I will say iconic because of how we all reacted to it. Will most definitely be Cooper DeJean pick six.
Yo, bro. Oh my God. Yo.
I still watch that video. Like I
Yo,
go on Twitter and I type in Cooper DeJean and it's the top one, you know?
that's like one of the biggest like edits on Twitter right now, bro. Like still,
Still
bro.
to this day.
To this day is one of the biggest. Like, yo, Cooper gets hella love on Twitter because of that one play, bro. Shout out to him. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like
All right, June, your turn.
If they score one more time, the game is over. Just do it. Hey, right after that, Hurts threw that bomb to Deontay Smith
yo, bro, that
and
it was
scored.
over. It was
Oh
over.
yeah.
That was literally the play. That's what God Leo the hell's his name? The OC that went to coach us the Saints.
Oh yeah, I forgot his name. Isn't it starts with an M, right?
The Saints new head coach.
What's
Hold
his
on.
name?
The Dallas Cowboys OOC.
Kellen
More.
Moore, Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore told
Tell
Sirianni, if we
Yeah.
score again, it's over. Sirianni looked at him and says, just do it. Call it.
Yes,
Just call
yes,
it.
that was
Just
a good
call it.
play.
And then in the next play, Hurts threw that bomb to Deontay. That's one of my favorite little plays, pre-scenarios there.
Bro, it was
Uh,
Yeah.
the
This
fact
is the
that
last
like
quarter.
the arm that Hurts had to unload that pass, was insane, son. Like
yeah,
clean
yeah,
football. Amazing. Love that play.
yeah. And I think one of the best plays that the Patriots had was when Tim Tebow threw that slant to I forgot who it was, but Tim Tebow played for the damn Pats, right? So I mean
Yeah.
I think a lot of people slept on Tim, man. Come on, man. Like my dude, he had a play or two. Um,
He didn't want to switch over to tight end. That was his problem.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy part is, he played for the Eagles. He didn't make it to the season, but he still wore our uniform too, which is crazy. And then last but not least, the Steelers. It has to be that Super Bowl tiptoe, catch.
Antonio Holmes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was beast right there.
That was the one I thought of too for the Steelers.
Yeah, that dude
Um
did the whole Michael Jackson. You know what I mean?
Bro said that somebody said on NFL Films when they was talking about like the best Super Bowls, and they mentioned that it was somebody said he was standing at 12 o'clock because of how upright he was when he caught it. Like,
Crazy.
which that comment still lives with me because, bro, like, you know how insane of a catch that is,
I
bro.
mean, he was like this, and then he went.
I remember my
You
mom
know what I mean? It was crazy.
Literally.
that was in 2009. Yep. And I was a freshman in high school and my mom stayed up with me to watch that game. And I had on my Troy Polamalu jersey, of course. And then my mama told me I could go into school late the next day. And I washed my Troy Polamalu jersey and wore it to school that day.
Yo, Bree, what was the elation like when you saw the San Antonio Holmes catch?
Oh, I was sitting on the couch. Me and my mom was sitting on the couch in the living room in Florida. And it was just like, my mom, she's an honorary Steelers fan. She's a Giants fan, but she's an honorary Steelers fan. So
Yeah.
we both were like, yeah. But then we because my brother and sister were still sleeping, and my dad was stationed in Bahrain. But I remember
Did we lose her?
Yeah, I was about to say, did we lose her?
I think we did. I think we did lose her.
Yeah.
Yeah. that was a good story though. It was like you feel me because that's
Remember
a that's
that.
a
And
crazy
then
moment.
Oh,
What
Yeah, it must have cut out. She must have fell off. We'll give it time to come back in so we see if we got any more of the games to go. And not, we're gonna wrap it up. Pause. We
but yeah, nah,
got to get ready for the finals game. You know what I'm saying?
yo,
bro,
man.
facts.
Let me tell you. Oh, we still recording, man.
Yeah. Let's wait. Let's
I
wait.
was tell you about this other bet, man. I always got mine. Oh shoot,
Hey
man. Well,
yo,
you know, while she comes back on, I did add something else on here, and I wanted to just get you guys' opinions on it really fast. Uh,
definitely.
so what's his name? Roto Pats, whatever that is. He put in there the top 10 2025 NFL GM rankings with the Eagles being number one, KC being number two, LA number three, Baltimore number four, Green Bay number five. Is there any other top five teams that you guys would disagree with or
Like
agree?
top five GMs.
So
GMs, yeah.
you
I
said
was talking,
Eagles.
y'all didn't hear me. Yeah, we're like, did we lose her? Is she still here? I think we lost her. And I'm like, guys, I'm right here. I'm watching all of you guys.
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
your thing
I'm
froze.
like,
Then it came back and you was gone again. So
Yeah, like
hold on,
no,
June.
no, no. Real quick, what I was saying was, y'all remember my friend Portia, the one that came to Hooters,
Yes.
right?
yeah,
You know, me and her are Steelers fans, so we both had on our matching Troy Polamalu jerseys and stuff, and we just took like maybe like 50 pictures at school the next day, you know, and like all this other stuff. Yeah.
great story, Bree. Nah, because I can only imagine. That's how I felt when I saw 20-3, yo.
All right, June. You said Eagles. Who's the other one?
Um, yeah, the Eagles, Kansas City number two,
Mm-hmm.
LA number three, Baltimore number four, and Green Bay number five.
So hold on. L.A. Rams or Chargers?
Rams.
And then
As
number
far,
five is who?
number five is the Packers.
And these are GMs.
These are GMs. Yeah, so those are the top five ranked GM rankings in
I don't know,
2025.
man. I'm gonna say Eagles one. I'm good with that. I'm gonna say
Yeah,
Chiefs at two. I can stay with that because consistently winning. I don't know about the Rams at three and Ravens at four and five as Packers because if you look at what the Texans did over the last couple of years, that's their GM doing that. So I would put the Texans in there. If you look at what the
good turnaround. Yeah,
Bears have done in the last two years, just bringing players in, the GM there, I think any team take away the wins and losses. That's why I'll keep the Eagles up there and Chiefs. But like the Texans, um,
pretty
the
much any team with good
the
turnaround,
Bears,
you'd
yeah,
say.
and even the Rams. Not the Rams, the Chargers. By going out to get Harbaugh and then now getting different pieces to bring in, I think is big. But that's my only thing. I probably would take out the bottom three and change them out. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. So Bree, those were the top five GMs according to an article June found. So it was Eagles one, Chiefs two, Rams three, Ravens four, Packers five. If you agree, yeah. If not, like who would you move out? You don't agree? Who you gonna put?
I'm gonna put Howie as number one for sure. You know, Howie's number one. Number two, I will put Omar Khan, right? The con artist.
Hmm.
That's all
Uh,
Pittsburgh, you know. I will put him. And number three, I will put the LA Rams GM. I forgot his name. I would definitely put him at number three. And number four, I will put the Packers GM. I think the Packers GM is a phenomenal GM. A great GM, great moves. And then at number five, um, you know what? I will put, hold on, let me get the name. All right, that's my phone thing. I will put Elliot Wolf.
Okay.
I'll put Elliot Wolf. And the reason why I will put Elliot Wolf at that's number five, right? Yep. The reason why I will put Elliot Wolf at number five is the way that you guys drafted this year. Drafted to build around Drake May, drafted to help Drake May, you know? Um, with all your draft picks, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
and I think that that GM with Mike Rabel, like it is gonna work hand in hand, you know? So yeah, that's mine. Howie's gonna always is gonna be number one.
Yo, freaking yeah, Howie gets a lot of love too. Like he actually gets a lot of sports fan edits on Twitter as
Yeah,
well
and
and
I
TikTok.
love Howie because yes, he's a GM, but Howie is so in with the team. Like he is a team player.
He's
Howie's on a
geared towards his players, yeah.
yes, he's on a sideline for every game. After a touchdown pass, he's hugging that player. Like he is he's not in the box. He's not
Yeah, he's not
sitting,
just sitting in the front office.
he's not behind the scenes, you know, just, oh, I'm a GM. Like he is involved so heavy with the and I love that. So, all
Howie.
right, and that's it. That's all we have.
All right.
Howie's
So
the GOAT.
I want to close out with a quote. Um,
Oh,
got here.
everyone pick a quote. Everyone pick a quote.
Um, and it's in excellence. And it says, I firmly believe that any man's finest hour, his greatest fulfillment of all that he holds dear, is that moment when he has worked his heart out in good cause and lies exhausted on the field of battle, victorious. That
That's a
was,
good quote right there.
yeah.
That's a good quote right there. Great
Oh,
quote.
that is Frankie?
Ooh,
Vince Lombardi.
word?
Hmm.
Well, I mean, that's like one of the NFL GOATs.
So I don't know if anybody has a quote they want to share, or every week we all take a turn. But
Let's all do a quote.
Oh,
okay.
all right. All right. I thought every week, but we did it.
Um, my quote is gonna be simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, from Tom Brady in terms of just not only being a mantra towards team success, franchise success, but also success in life. When he was told by the Michigan equipment manager who had so many rings that he couldn't fit it on his finger, he told him, he was like, you know what? But you know what my favorite ring is though? The next one. So my quote for that one is saying, whatever you're going through, just always look forward to the next one that you have in life. That's it. Because there's always going to be another brighter day than the dark day that you might be going through now. So you feel me? As Tom Brady once said, his favorite ring, the next one. And he ain't
All
win for 10 years. So
right. I got two. The first one,
Just pick one.
they're quick. They're quick. Okay, the first one is if I told you all the ingredients to a hot dog, you might not like it.
word.
Ooh,
I've heard that quote before.
I
That's a
have
good
heard
one right there.
Mike Tomlin.
Mm.
Second one, Mike Tomlin. I don't ever want to lose enough games to get a man like you on my team. Ooh,
Yeah, he said that to old boy, the defense.
Chase Young.
Yeah,
Who said that?
Chase
Chase Young.
Young.
LOL, yo. That's mad funny, yo.
Yeah. And
See,
then just a real fun fact. Did you guys know that? Yeah, I know that famous saying, or people use it like next man up.
yeah.
Mike Tomlin was the first person to say that, and it's very popular to this day.
Next man up mentality.
Hmm. All right, go ahead, Jim.
I only have one.
Okay. Five.
All right. An underdog is a hungry dog, and hungry dogs run faster. That was by Jason Kelsey. So why do I pick that one? I think that's how we have to approach life. Approach life as a hungry dog at all types of levels.
Yeah. Underdog mentality is like the best mentality that you could have.
Thank you guys for listening to Frank Presents the Play Call. Here joined by the team again. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Way more topics. We have the NFL coming up soon. Mandatory minicamp starts this upcoming week. Then after mandatory minicamps, you have training camp. Then after training camp, you have preseason. And after preseason, you have regular season. So we're
Gangsta.
almost there. We're almost there, y'all.
All right, peace.
Later, guys.